Precious Mzee Sakaleji, good afternoon and welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Government threatens to close COCHRANE Trucking Limited for breaching labor laws. ZAMRA accused of concealing evidence over illegally imported COVID-19 vaccine. Join me with the Midday News in detail after this commercial.
Would you like to win some cool cash? Say no more. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million kwacha. Simply make a transaction from your Zamtel mobile money account and you could be one of weekly winners of up to 10,000 kwacha. Be empowered with Zamtel mobile money. Dial *344# to activate your account. This promotion runs from 28th July to 31st October 2021. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
And now the Midday News in detail. Ministry of Labour and Social Security Commissioner Givens Muntengwa has charged that government will be left with no choice but to suspend operations for COCHRANE Trucking Limited for illegally breaching the labour laws. In an exclusive interview with Camnet News, Commissioner Muntengwa says the ministry has received reports that the trucking company has been charging its employees for course repairs to the damage caused to the vehicles. Mr. Muntengwa says it is the duty of the company owner to bear the cost of damage or their property and not subject employees to carrying the burden of the cost of repairs. He says the ministry will soon be sending a team of inspectors to the company to ascertain how much the employees have lost out so that they can be refunded. And COCHRANE Trucking Limited Human Resource Manager Matthew Mlenga says his company will confer with the ministry on the matters.
We have received reports or complaints from COCHRANE Trucking Company Limited to the effect that they are deducting costs of breakdown of trucks against the welders and drivers. Welders are charged 1,270 kwacha, while they're deducting 890 kwacha from the drivers. And this is illegal, we must say, because from the contracts of employment that were attested by this office, there is no such condition of service where the cost of the truck should be charged against the driver, because from the ordinary scheme of things, any breakdown of the truck should be charged against the company. It's the duty of the owner to repair or service a truck. And so this is strange, really, and it must therefore reversed going forward. They must be refunded, these welders and mechanics. Otherwise, if this is not done, we'll be forced to close the company so that they organize themselves and respect the labor laws of the country. So we'll be sending our team to go and find out how many employees are affected and when exactly this trend started.
A civil rights activist, Bredna Changala, has alleged that the Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority, ZAMRA, might be involved in the illegal importation of unauthorized COVID-19 vaccines. Mr. Changala has wondered why ZAMRA seized and destroyed COVID-19 vaccines before reporting the matter to law enforcement agencies. The activist says that the act is tantamount to concealing evidence in suspicious transactions. ZAMRA had on Monday, 31st August 2021, announced that it had seized and destroyed a consignment of unauthorized COVID-19 vaccines known as Hayat-Vax, which is allegedly a SARS-CoV-2 vaccine and Verocell equivalent to 10,000 doses.
Zambia's health sector has continued to be in the limelight, mostly for wrong reasons, ranging from issues of suspected corruption to the procurement of expired drugs in the famous honeybee saga. As if that was not enough, on Monday, 31st August 2021, ZAMRA announced that it had seized and destroyed a consignment of unauthorized COVID-19 vaccines valued at $150,000 United States dollars and equivalent to 10,000 doses. What surprises people is that ZAMRA in their statement could not state the company behind the consignment, but the media made the exposure. Embattled Lusaka businessman Vauden Findlay explained that it was a donation from Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates government. We, the so-called reporters, continue to ask questions on behalf of citizens as to how the government can donate to an individual without the knowledge of the state. Was the Ministry of Health aware of the vaccine? Why the media was not informed to capture the vaccines when destroying them? Or maybe it is the reason behind civil rights activist Brebna Changala's views.
Decided to dispose of evidence a day before they announced the seizure of this illegal vaccine. When we go to the law, this is a very serious criminal matter which should have seen the police, the DEC move in. ZAMRA should have reported this matter to relevant law enforcement. But most importantly, they should not have destroyed this vaccine because it could have used in a court of law as evidence against the perpetrators of this crime. In this case, Chrisma Earth Moving Company.
Mr. Changala has called for the arrest of all those involved in the matter.
A lot of things could have happened should PF have won this election. And I know why they didn't tell the public, why they didn't destroy this vaccine. It's because they wanted to supply it to the Ministry of Health incognito and endanger the lives of the people of Zambia. That is banditry, is criminal, is unacceptable, and the law must take its course. The law must visit ZAMRA, the law must visit the directors of Chrisma Earth Moving.
He says ZAMRA must be cleaned up.
ZAMRA did cooperate in this criminal activity, and everybody else there must be made to account. And what I mean is everybody at ZAMRA must be arrested. This does not exclude the perpetrator of the crime, the importer of this vaccine. Body that is compromised and must be done away with. It's not serving anybody's interest. We are coming from honeybee. Now we find ourselves in the vaccine, under the watch of the same institution. They must explain themselves. They must tell the people of Zambia. Because I can see now Zambians losing faith in this COVID vaccination because they don't know where the vaccine is coming from. This is a huge injury to reputation and confidence in the vaccination process.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
The opposition leadership movement has cautioned the government against over-depending on the International Monetary Fund IMF package to revive the local economy. Party President Dr. Richard Silumbe says Zambia must look beyond an IMF package to spur economic growth. He notes that the need to utilize the high youth population and the energy they possess to propel national development. Dr. Silumbe says only Zambians will develop the country, hence the need to identify appropriate strategies to encourage productivity.
Coming from the August 12 Gen election, which saw United Party for National Development leader Hakainde Hichilema elected as Zambia's 7th president, the new administration is taking shape after a number of appointments. But people are highly anticipating the appointment of cabinet ministers. Opposition political parties have been making policy recommendations to get the country moving. The leadership movement is against the idea of depending on an International Monetary Fund package to revive the economy. Party President Dr. Richard Silumbe told journalists that Zambia must look beyond an IMF package to spur economic growth.
Talking about IMF, we as leadership movement do not subscribe to that because we know that we are in a cat race which will bring us back to a dead end. We have tried those things before. We have gotten loans before and we are nowhere, anywhere near to development, near to self-sustainable way of living as a country. We need to work out a different strategy that can recover the economy. And leadership movement is saying we need to ensure that we put the energy of the young people.
He says industrialization must be given a priority.
Leadership movement wants to deliver that development. Apart from jobs, we want to ensure that every Zambian who has a piece of land has title deeds, because we know that farmers are poor, are where they are today because they have land that does not have titles, therefore they have no access to loans, no access to tangible financial resources that can make that land be converted into a productive land.
He adds that young people must be utilized in productive sectors of the economy.
Ensure that we put the energy of the young people to work, to production. We need to ensure that we start having tangible materials, tangible goods, tangible products that can be sold to other countries for us to gain forex and be able to generate the necessary revenue that we need as a country for us to exist as a country and start slowly growing from the current scenario of an economy to an economy that is sustainable.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
United Party for National Development UPND Deputy Secretary General Patrick Mcheleka has described statements by former Minister of Water Development and Sanitation Environmental Protection under the Patriotic Front Rafael Nakachinda as bitter. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Mcheleka says the party, while in opposition, came up with concrete plans on how to improve the overall living standard of Zambians, but explains that they cannot be done overnight as the party just assumed leadership. Mr. Nakachinda, through his Operation Binoculars project, has been criticizing the ruling party, stating that they have failed to actualize their promise to the Zambian people, such as lowering the price of fertilizer.
During the period of transition, you will be expecting people like Nakachinda to make a lot of noise, trying to appear relevant. You can also see a lot of bitterness coming from them, because most of them who were direct beneficiaries of the loot that took place under the PF government. There were a lot of beneficiaries, including those who benefited from importation of fertilizer, whose landed cost became too much to bear for the smallholder farmer. In some cases, in the rural area, a bag of fertilizer, 50 kg, costing as much as 800. These are issues that our Minister of Agriculture and this team obviously will be looking at to.
That news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Midday News, but before we go, here are the headlines once again. Government threatens to close COCHRANE Trucking Limited for breaching labor laws. ZAMRA accused of concealing evidence for over illegally imported COVID-19 vaccines. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji. Thank you for joining me. Good afternoon.